and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm doing a highly requested video. This is something which so many people ask me, what foundation is your favorite? What foundation would you recommend? This is such a hard question, and honestly I can't narrow it down to one, so that's why I decided to film a little favorites video. But I did have to break this down into high end, so if you guys want to see like a drugstore foundation favorites, I can film that as well, but that would have just gotten way too long. So for this video, I'm going to be talking about more, I wouldn't say like super pricey. These aren't luxurious foundations, but they aren't drugstore. So sort of your Sephora, Mecca, if you're not in Australia, Cult Beauty, Ulta, that kind of level of shopping. Before I start off this video, I just want to clarify, I do have dry skin. So, I mean, this may vary if you have oily skin, but I feel like these foundations are sort of versatile. You can always tailor foundations to suit your skin type, but just something to bear in mind if you are thinking of purchasing any of these. And yeah, as usual, I will put the timestamps in the description below. I try to do that when I can because I know it makes it easy if you guys are looking for a review on a particular product. You don't have to sit there and annoyingly flick through the whole video. Okay, so let's just get started. So first I want to talk about this bad boy. You guys know the Too Faced Born This Way foundation is a holy grail for so many people. This is literally a cult favorite. I know people obsess over this, and trust me, it's with good reason. This is the most amazing foundation I've tried, personally speaking. The reason I fell in love with it was, okay, I said I wasn't going to talk too much, but anyway, about 5 years ago when I started to get into makeup, other than the MAC foundations, the first kind of more expensive foundation which I really liked was the Nars Sheer Glow foundation, okay? I love that it wasn't super cakey, it kind of gave you that nice buildable medium coverage, and it looked nice and glowy as well, so perfect for dry skin. I used that for a few years, I used it on clients, it was all great, but then what I absolutely love about this is the shade. This is literally the perfect shade for my skin tone. It is the shade Golden Beige. So what I love about it is the undertones are so beautiful and yellow. This is something which I personally found was lacking in the Nars Sheer Glow. So this is the reason why I switched away from that as a more my go-to foundation to this one. Because the beautiful golden undertone just suited so many of us brown girls who do have that yellow undertone. I find that the Nars Sheer Glow, it caters more to more pinky undertones. So it does retail for 62 Australian dollars at Mecca, and it does come in 35 shades. So I know initially when this product came out, it didn't have that many shades. And the amazing queen of makeup, Jackie Aina, you guys obviously know her, she prompted and pushed Too Faced to actually be more inclusive in their shade range, and that's when they brought out this shade Golden Beige. So shout out to her for actually standing up for people of color and telling brands what needs to be done, because sometimes brands need a push. They're kind of in their own little bubble, and of course we're in 2020, but brands need a push. And I'm so glad that Jackie Aina called them in. She collabed with them and came out with the most amazing shades. And I know that it's not the foundation with the most shades. There's a lot of other brands with heaps of different shades. This only has 35, which is still quite a lot. But what I like about it is it is spread so evenly across the spectrum. So you have equal number of light shades as you do deeper shades, as you do medium shades, which is the best part. And each of those have undertones. So each color bracket is broken down into yellow, pink, neutral, and I love that. And there's at least like 2 options for each undertone in each shade bracket, which is incredible. Now let's get on to the coverage. The coverage of this foundation is medium, but very, very buildable. That's what I love about this, because it literally sits on your skin so nicely. When you apply it, it won't look cakey, it won't cling to your dry patches, it won't accentuate acne. It is literally a dream. It makes your face look super airbrushed, super dewy, super natural but flawless, and it can also give you like a fuller effect if you desire that. So I can literally wear this if I'm going to the shops, and I can wear this if I'm going to an event and I want a full beat. Literally, it does not oxidize at all. It just stays true to color, which is such a blessing. Oxidization can be really annoying. You have to think more. Chances are you're not gonna reach for that foundation as easily. Also, I just wanted to quickly show you guys the texture. Oh, and it does come with a squeezy pump. And another reason I shifted away from the Sheer Glow, because you had to buy the pump separately. Like, come on. Like, really? It's already quite a pricey foundation. Include the pump, please. Please. Anyway, so I'm just gonna show you on the back of my hand what I mean when I say it's not super thick. You can see the consistency of the foundation. It is slowly dripping down my hand, which shows you what kind of texture it is. And I'm just going to blend that out. And you guys can see that gorgeous glow that it's given my hand. Obviously I have no product on my hand or primers or anything, so this is literally the foundation itself. Now let's move on to the Nars Radiant Longwear foundation. I love this foundation. I honestly think this is Nars's best foundation till date. So yes guys, I do personally think that this is better than the Luminous Weightless foundation and also better than the Sheer Glow, 1000%. I was really hesitant because unpopular opinion, I really didn't like the Luminous Weightless foundation. I just don't know why, it just wasn't for me. So when they came out with this Natural Radiant Longwear foundation, I was kind of hesitant to try it. And I was like, oh, do I want to waste my money on another Nars foundation? But what sold me was the shade. This is in the shade Punjab. Oh, another thing, I don't want to sound like I'm ripping into Nars here, but another thing is the shade names are not consistent across all the foundations. So Punjab in the Sheer Glow foundation is such a light pinky undertone, whereas Punjab in the Longwear Natural Radiant foundation is super golden and pretty much like the color I have on my face right now. But yeah, anyway, that's a side note. But I personally feel like this foundation is beautiful. I personally don't believe it's natural. I do think it's quite a fuller kind of foundation. I would describe it probably as medium to like a lower full coverage foundation. One thing about this product is it has skin matching pigments in it, which I found really interesting because it matches your skin tone. So even if you're like a little bit off in terms of shade, the foundation will oxidize a little. So with this product, I would say a little goes a long way. So I'm just gonna show you guys the consistency of the foundation. So you can see the difference in consistency with this and the Too Faced Born This Way. That will not move. That is super thick. It's not gonna drip down my hand. It will literally stay there all day. Look, I'm moving my hand and it's not going to move. So I'm just gonna blend it out now. Again, it's beautiful in terms of coverage. Look how nicely that has covered my hand. It hasn't got as much of a dewy finish as the Too Faced Born This Way that I showed you guys before, but I would say the beauty of this foundation is it's suited to more skin types. I think oily skin girls might not be obsessed with the Too Faced Born This Way because it kind of can look a bit too glowy on them. So probably if you are oily skin, you will like this one a little bit better than the Too Faced Born This Way. Okay, so moving on to the foundation that I have on my skin right now, I want to show you guys the amazing coverage. Look how beautiful that looks. It's so full, but it's not cakey. It just gives you that really beautiful glow, and it illuminates every area that you need to illuminate. Like, it's not like super glowy all around. I would say it's more like a velvety finish as opposed to dewy like the two previous ones I mentioned. So yeah, it gives you that perfect velvet demi-matte kind of finish. With this foundation, I don't actually have to set it. Because I do have dry skin, I feel like powder is optional with this foundation. Like, it will dry down like a perfect velvety finish and I can literally walk out like that and it will last ages. So for shade for this one, I am in the shade 300C. I also have picked foundations which are really inclusive. I didn't want to pick foundations with like 10 shades because I know there are a lot of them which are amazing, but I just feel like that's not inclusive. This retails for $71 and it does actually come in 50 shades. And I would say though, this foundation is kind of concentrated in the mid kind of color zone. They do have quite a few options for deeper skin tones and lighter skin tones, but I feel like it's not as equally split as the Too Faced Born This Way. This is definitely quite a smoothing foundation. As you guys can see, like my pores are not accentuated in this at all. I feel like I get that beautiful airbrush finish and it doesn't look cakey at all. It is also super comfortable, so that is a big thing. Coverage and everything is great, but at the end of the day, if you're gonna wear a foundation for many hours, you do want it to be super comfortable, and that's what I like about this Anastasia Luminous foundation. I think that it is really, really comfortable. Like, I can't even feel it on my skin right now, and I've been wearing it for quite a while now. Packaging is almost identical to the Nars one I showed you guys before. Literally, like, it's like they use the same bottle or the same manufacturer. I might have to look into that actually, and you guys see it's like the same bottle, literally the same bottle. Very similar product formulation, everything's very similar. It makes me wonder, like, you really don't need both of these. You probably only need one because they're very, very, very similar. I'm just gonna show you guys this on my hand. As you guys can see, it is dripping down my hand quite quickly. It is a thinner foundation in terms of formulation, and this is how it looks, quite dewy. I just blended it out, but look how airbrushed my hand looks. Honestly, it's just, it smooths out so nicely. It does retail for $71 at Sephora. It definitely is on the more pricey side, so just something to remember when you guys are thinking of which ones you want and if you are going to purchase any of these. Okay, so moving on to the next foundation. This foundation actually came out around the same time as the Anastasia Luminous foundation. I think they were about a week apart. So it is the Fenty Beauty Pro Filt'r Hydrating Longwear foundation. Let's just start off by saying I completely hated the original Pro Filt'r foundation, the one that comes in the glass bottle. Big no, oxidized, made me look orange. Unpopular opinion, but I hated it. But when this bad boy came out, I was very nervous to buy it, but I thought, why not? You know, I really want to like Fenty products because everyone raves about them. Let me give it another go. So I bought this and I literally fell in love. It is so convenient. This packaging is beautiful. It comes in a tube with a pump. Like, can we just talk about how convenient that is for travel, to chuck in your bag every day? This does retail for 53 Australian dollars at Sephora, and it does come in 50 shades. Of course, Fenty is super inclusive with their shades. You guys know I do not need to talk about it. So I'm really happy that Rihanna paved the way for all the brands that followed, and I think the beauty industry is definitely changing in a positive way in terms of catering for people of color. So still have a long way to go, but definitely doing really, really well. The reason I love this and hated the original Pro Filt'r is because this doesn't oxidize. So this is true to color. I'll show you what color it comes out. Very, very lightweight. The color is beautiful for my skin tone. I am in the shade 290. Sorry, I forgot to mention earlier. And this is what it looks like. Beautiful, buildable coverage, medium, very, very easy to make this a fuller coverage foundation. Got this beautiful glow in it, and yeah, just amazing. So yeah, the formula is definitely quite runny. It's not thick like the Nars foundation that I showed you guys earlier. It definitely is a runny formula, very easy to work with, blends in so well with a sponge as well as a brush. Just a really quick and easy foundation, and does the job amazingly. Okay, so lastly, before this video turns into like an hour-long session of me talking, I just want to show you guys the Bounce Liquid Whip Longwear foundation from Beauty Blender. So much controversy around this product. Totally get it. Before we start, I want to say what Beauty Blender did in the beginning was wrong. They came out with very few shades, were not inclusive at all. Very, very unprofessional of them. Like I think 1 or 2 shades darker than me was their darkest shade, and no. But now I'm really impressed that they took a feedback and they did come out with more shades quite quickly. So the responsiveness of the brand was incredible. I mean, it's one thing to get negative feedback, but then actually turning that into a positive is quite commendable. So now they actually have 40 shades, which is amazing. And this retails for $64 at Sephora. You know what's funny? When this foundation came out, I was like, oh, the packaging is so fun and different, great for makeup artists. But I slowly came to realize that it's really hard to pump out the product and get to the bottom of the bottle. Like, of course, it's convenient for storage. It's like nicely fits and everything, and it does come with a little mixing palette or whatever you want to call this. Very, very convenient, but I just think sometimes you just want a good pump to be able to squeeze the product out. I'll show you guys. So this is what it comes out like. Obviously, because there's quite a bit of product in this, it's coming out nicely. I will just show you guys on my hand. This is what it looks like. It is quite a thick formula. I would describe this as a fuller foundation for sure. It is not really medium coverage. It is quite a lower full coverage foundation. So just something to note if you guys are thinking of purchasing it. So I actually first tried this foundation even before it was released at the Sephora Max Connectors event at Luna Park. That was like, I think a month before it released, and there was a beauty blender stall there, and they had huge hype around this product, and I was amazed by it. So I actually tried it at the event, and I loved how it looked, and it just looked, it was so airbrushed, and like the name suggests, it kind of had this whipped finish. So it was kind of like super like smoothing, I guess. What I also love about this product is it has hyaluronic acid in it. So that's a big yes for me. Look, I can honestly go on forever and ever about these foundations, but I narrowed it down to 5 of my top favorites, and I just wanted to share with you guys. Of course, all these foundations are equally as good as each other. And honestly, sometimes it's just about where I'm going and what I reach for. Like, I find myself sometimes reaching for the same one. I'm like, okay, let's start reaching for another one of them. And then I just use that for like a couple of weeks straight. And then I move on to another one. But I find that these 5 are the ones that I reach for all the time. That's basically what I'm trying to say. And trust me guys, I do have a lot of foundations, and I would say I probably have like over like 50 foundations. And these are the top 5. So trust me when I tell you they are good. But obviously, if you guys are thinking of purchasing any of these, get samples, try the product out for yourself. Everyone has different skin tones, skin types. Products react differently for everyone, so it's important that you judge the product yourself before making a decision. This is just my opinion and how it works on my skin type. Yeah, if you guys enjoyed this style of favorites video, please let me know in the comments below, because it will definitely let me know that I can film more of these, because honestly, I had favorite concealers, favorite lipsticks, favorite blushes, the list goes on. And please subscribe if you're already here. The little red button, notification bells, you know the go. I used to be like, why do people say this so much? And now I have a YouTube channel, I'm like, please subscribe. But yes, if you can, I would really, really appreciate it. Thank you so much, and I will see you in my next video. Bye guys.